I know the law, Phil. I know the law too well. Then you ought to know that there ain't no way to beat the law. White folks live by it, and niggas die by it.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my God! What did you do? This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism. It's very clear that this individual was harassing and impeding law enforcement operations. Our officer followed his training, did exactly what he's been taught to do in that situation, and took actions to defend himself and defend his fellow law enforcement officers.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased.
How does being part of that network justify being shot?
Well, being part of the network doesn't justify being shot, but ramming an ICE officer with your car, that's what justifies being shot. It's not a good thing, by the way, but when you force somebody to engage in self-defense, it's almost a preposterous question. That the reason this woman is dead is because she tried to ram somebody with her car and that guy acted in self-defense. That is why she lost her life, and that is the tragedy. Now,
so President Trump says the woman was disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seems to have shot her in self-defense. He shared a video of the incident from a different angle. What's your response to that version of events?
I mean, that's the only reason why I'm here. I don't think I'm the most articulate person. I don't think that I don't want to be here, but I knew that this would be twisted and it would be self-defense, and that's absolutely not what happened. But it's just, my life is forever changed from having witnessed this, and I just can't let this narrative that it was self-defense go any further, because it's absolutely not what it was.
It's Focus Connect back in the building. And one thing I don't like is a person pissing on me and telling me there's rain. Because right now, all I see is a bunch of lies. I see a big cover up, and I don't understand how they even think they can pull it off when we can see it. Even though we know they're not gonna charge this officer with a crime, they still don't take away from us as United States American citizens seeing that this was an injustice. That lady was not a threat to those ICE officers. That lady clearly, when you look at the tires on that car, that lady was turning to the right, trying to get away from that officer. Why would you be standing in front of a car anyway? And then on top of that, once this car started moving, you shot this woman in the face. This woman took a headshot. If you was that adamant about stopping that woman and forming a law-inspired action, you could have shot the tires out of the car. You standing at the front, you could have shot the radiator out. You didn't have to shoot that lady because that lady was no threat to you. And then just imagine this lady just dropped her child off at school, and now when this child waiting to be picked up or waiting to see their mom after school is out, that child have to live with this for the rest of their life. And it's sad to see that we got J.D. Vance covering up and saying that this shooting is justified. Kristi Noem is saying that this shooting is justified. And when we look at ICE members are nothing but gang members, why are they walking up to people's cars with their face covered up as if they're robbers? They look like bank robbers. So I don't understand why this certain particular agent is not being held accountable when we clearly see the other officers didn't feel threatened. They were very relaxed. And as you can see, when that first shot went off, one of the officers fell off the truck or whatever he was doing. He stumbled and fell because He knew it wasn't the reason for gunshots to even be going off, so he probably was thinking that one of the protesters was shooting. I bet you he did not think that officer was shooting because there was no reason for an officer to shoot. And then these people are already saying that it's not justified for an officer even be standing in front of a car. That's against procedure. And then after that, you shoot this woman for trying to evade the situation when all you had to do was shoot the tire, stop the vehicle, and then get the lady out the car. Why did you have to cause bodily harm to this lady? And see, a lot of us can say, you know, we agree with what ICE is doing, and to a degree, I do understand, but when you have civil unrest going on because of law enforcement, I think they need to regroup in the way they're going about doing this. Because even Donald Trump is holding up for these guys and saying that they have immunity without us even seeing what happened before we see on this video. So how do a person get immunity when you don't even know if they agitated this situation? If you don't know if this lady didn't have anything to do with anything. And then they also lied about the officer saying that their car was stuck in ice. This is what Kristi Noem said out of her own mouth. She said that the officer's car was stuck in ice, and these people they were trying to get the car from being stuck in the ice. And this lady was a domestic terrorist, and she deserved to lose her life. So they just show you the state and the mindset of our leaders right now. Because there's a lot of different things that Donald Trump do that I agree with, but I'm not gonna stand with nobody when they're wrong. I don't understand why we're talking about political aspirations in these conversations. When you look at the many different videos of what people are talking about pertaining to this situation, they're talking about political things. This is not political. This is person to person what happened in this situation. This officer didn't adhere to the duties of his job. He stepped out of line. So he should be held accountable for that. That lady didn't deserve to lose her life. I don't care what nobody say. That lady did not deserve to lose her life. And why was that one officer the only person shooting? If they felt so threatened, why was he the only person shooting? And then they lied talking about he had to go to the hospital because he got hit by the car and all this other stuff. That guy did not get hit by that truck. That woman did not hit that guy. If she hit him, it was after that gunshot in that car. But we saw that didn't happen because he came to the side and started shooting in the window. So now you may be a dedicated Republican and want to hold up for that side like a gang member, but as a human with morals and a morale about yourself, you can clearly see that was not justified. People need to put their child in the position of that person, or put yourself in their driver's seat. And a lot of people will say, no, I wouldn't have pulled out, because I know I wouldn't have. If the officer came up to me talking or whatever they wanted to know, want my ID, or wanted to ask me some questions, no matter how I felt about that officer, I would have answered those questions. But in this case, that lady didn't do that. That lady turned her tires to the right for whatever reason, but we don't know what happened before what we saw. So we can't give a full analysis of what's going on because we don't know how it started. Because if this lady is a law-abiding citizen that was dropping her child off at school and she got caught in the middle of that protest or whatever was going on, if she may not even been a part of that, maybe just been passing through to see what was going on in the place that she lives. But we can't give a concrete analysis on this situation right now as far as taking sides. And that's where I feel as if this Republican side is wrong. These people that are trying to protect these ICE agents, they are wrong. And now I'm seeing what a lot of people in California were talking about when they came there. I'm seeing what those people in Colorado were talking about. And now I'm also seeing what those people in Chicago was talking about, because as many illegal immigrants that we have in this country, they were invited in by a president. So when you're going on your personal motivations, trying to correct whatever you felt that man done wrong, he was a representative of the United States at that point in time. So it should be some type of order that you're going by to correct what you feel that is wrong about that. But I thought that all of these politicians and the president and everybody that's so high and mighty and in charge, I thought all of that was for we the people. They're not concerned about the people. They're concerned about personal gains and personal motivations, as we can see. Because that lady should not have lost her life that morning. That officer should not have reacted the way he did. He should have not even pulled his firearm out because he could clearly see that that woman did not have a weapon. And if you want to use the car as being a weapon, you could have moved out of the way of that and you did not have to shoot that lady because that woman was not trying to hit you. The woman was not trying to hit that guy. And we can all see that. And people may agree because they are Republican, but as a person with morale and dignity about yourself, you know that is not the case. So I don't look at this as Democrat. I don't look at this as Republican. I look at it as an officer that stepped way out of line in a presidency that's trying to save face. I'm out.